Hi. We wanted to start the show off by paying our respects to the victims of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash, to those beautiful 16 players, trainers, coaches, announcers. We love you. We respect, and we want to pay our respects. I'm lost for words here, guys. Does someone want to take over? I'm getting emotional already.
It's incredibly emotional. It's one of those things where obviously it comes out of the blue, and you can never imagine how those people are feeling. You can only imagine as a parent and as somebody that has children, and we all do, the feeling that those people must feel. And the outcry of support from the community is great and all, but there's a huge grieving process that's going to go on here. And we just, again, want to pay our respects to those people and have them rest in peace.
Okay.
All right,
Do we want to start the show proper?
let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay.
I got some beers.
1, 2, 3. Welcome to Riding Pine, season number 2, show number 25. 6.
Come on.
I don't know. I've lost count.
I've lost count already.
It's been a fun year. It's been a
has
fun
been.
year, boys.
It's gone by really fast.
That's true. The season is over. The
Yeah.
regular season over, and we
Yes.
still march on. How about that?
Yes.
Yes.
So we are Riding Pine. My name is Mitch Anderson. I am the expert. To my left, I always start on the left.
Got Darcy White, the agent, over here.
To my right,
Harper's here. My house.
you're not the only one wearing a sash.
I like this.
buddy.
You know what? Whenever you badmouth the Habs, I know that deep down you bleed. Blah, blah,
I've got my price on the back. That's right. Although my brother got me this jersey. At least it's a medium this time. The
That's
last
right.
time he bought me a jersey was an extra large.
I'm surprised it fits.
Yeah,
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it fits okay. I definitely fit in a small. Like I'm a small.
You've got 3 sweaters on underneath that.
I have one pretty large sweater already underneath this. So
Bulked up.
And Harper and I do not.
No, we do not. All natural right here, baby. That's right.
you guys are beautiful in your own ways.
Thanks, buddy.
We are brought to you by Bo's All Natural Brewing Company. They are family-run, employee-owned, totally independent, brewing interesting, tasty, award-winning, certified organic, all-natural beers. And today we are drinking.
Nailed it.
Oh, that is a lot of foam. Just let that drip
okay.
to the floor, bud.
I'll drink this. It's okay. I'll clean it later.
Don't worry, Amy. Don't watch the
Or I'll have somebody
spill
else clean it.
that your husband's making on the floor. It was
It's a lot of head.
girls all along. Yes. So we're going to go over a few things today. But the
Yes.
first thing we're going to go over is we're going to call up Sean Campbell from TSN 690 over at
Yes.
MTL.
I'm excited for this.
And we're going to talk some MTL.
Because I need to get it off my chest. I need to just get it over with and stop talking about them until next year.
We need to call some people from like Boston or something.
What do you mean next year, the draft? They've got top 4 pick in the draft.
I know.
Potentially.
I know. But it never usually works out that way. That's fine.
Yo,
Hey, Campbell, how you doing, buddy?
good man, you?
Good, really good. So we're live on YouTube right now, brother.
All right, sweet.
That's awesome. So just for our listeners just catching up right now, we have Sean Campbell from TSN 690, the voice of the Laval Rocket, the one, the only, right? So how you doing, brother?
Not bad. I've been trying to push this. When people say the voice of the Laval Rocket, I prefer to be called Rocket Voice.
Okay.
I don't know if it's gonna I don't know if it's gonna catch on, but I've been pushing this, and the only person that's been doing it so far is Mitch Gallo. But if I get more people on board, this could work.
Well,
We will refer to you as Rocket Voice from now on.
the Rocket Voice, that's for sure. Mitch Gallo, friend of the show.
So officially, you got 3 more people on that bandwagon, buddy. So
All right, one,
it's
two,
getting
three,
there.
Let's do this.
It's kicking
Hashtag
off.
Rocket Voice.
Hashtag Rocket voice. Hashtag beauty. Okay, we wanted to start off with, well, not start off, but the whole thing is around the Montreal Canadiens. So the first question we've got for you is, do you think, based on how the East went, so how the East shook out, that the Habs had the roster to compete?
Now, like just looking at the question, I'm like the roster to compete, yes.
Yes.
To win, no.
Right.
And when you talk about winning, it's about consistently winning. And to compete, yes, I think there's a lot of teams in the East that can compete. And what's interesting in the NHL is that there's 31 teams, but only 16 make the playoffs. And I don't think that there's 16 good teams and 15 bad teams. I think
Right.
if you look, there's more good teams than bad teams in the NHL. I think the Florida Panthers. That's a good team. They didn't make the playoffs,
St. Louis
and
Blues.
there's St. Louis Blues, perfect,
Yeah.
right? I don't think that they're a bad team. Like the
No.
list of bad teams in the National Hockey, I'll go Arizona, I'll go Vancouver, I'll throw Buffalo in there. Yeah, I'm definitely throwing Ottawa in there.
Yes.
Ouch.
That's just because I have a personal bias against the city, but that's just me.
Against
We
the
can get to that
city.
another day.
Just
Just
like-
bus,
but
a
that's
bus
the
just ran me over there.
I just had to throw that in there.
That's
you know?
all right. That's all right.
Well, if you want to start talking about how the Ottawa Senators run things, I thought Eugene Melnyk was the problem, and then I thought Guy Boucher was the problem, and now I'm hearing what Pierre Dorian's saying. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know who to blame.
He's just
But-
reserved to the fact that he's never getting another NHL job, so he is like latching his wagon to Eugene Melnyk at this point.
Pierre from Orleans is digging
Yeah.
in.
Just got to do what you got to do to get paid by the guy that has the money.
That's it.
That's
But I think that there's if you break down the NHL, there's more good teams than bad teams, and the Canadiens this year were a bad team. But I can qualify that one, the no Shea Weber and Carey Price being bad, but that's one of the things. Like I don't think Carey Price is a bad goaltender. Right? If he comes back next year and he's a bad goaltender, I'm going to start calling him a bad goaltender. But I'm not ready to do that yet. But if those guys are just normal or play, things change on the Canadiens, and then they are in that, the word you used was compete. And yeah, I'm not going out to say that they would have made the playoffs. I'm not going to say that they would have won anything with the roster that they have. But I think that they can, with the roster that they have, with the players that they had, barring the injuries, they could have competed.
So the coverage that you guys had for like the Bergevin presser, Max Pacioretty on the next day with Knuckles, and I think was yourself. Yeah, that was unbelievable. What sense are you getting from them in terms of what direction the team is going next year? Do you think that Max is staying? Do you think Bergevin is staying? Like what's going on? I have no idea. I don't know who to believe.
Well, Mark Bergevin is definitely staying because the owner, went out and said that he's staying. So that's Mark Bergevin. The Max Pacioretty is an interesting one because he did 22 minutes the day before in Brossard as they were closing up, and he did it with about 50 reporters in his face, and he answered every single question until it was wrapped up, about 22 minutes. And he would have stayed longer because he was ready to face whatever question that was coming his way. And he pleaded his heart, I love this city, et cetera, et cetera. When he's one-on-one, it's different. And I don't know if you notice the difference. There's a difference in the tone. And this is the thing that I love about radio is a scrum is the worst. I hate scrums.
Oh, yeah.
I hate sports scrums. They're so meaningless to me. And I know that part of the Montreal Canadiens broadcast, we go down live in the locker room, and there's some pretty good. Sometimes you get something good, but I'm upstairs in the press box and hosting the post game. I'm just listening. I'm like, okay, when are you done talking? Like, let's go. Let's get to the callers. I feel that way. It's a lot of generic, but you get someone on the phone one-on-one, or you have someone that has a connection. Max and Knuckles, there's a connection. They're friends. They've bonded before, so he's a little bit more open. I've met Max a couple of times, sat down with him in Brossard. Not that I will ever call him, a relation. He probably walked down the street, wouldn't even recognize me. Okay, that's just. But my point is, I met him a couple of times. There's a little bit more of a personal thing. Then there's a third level. You get a guy, and this is the thing in radio, and you guys are live on YouTube right now. You're hanging around. You're having a beer, right?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Right, but let's just say you change that and you put me in the same room as you guys. That's different too. So when you bring a guy into studio, you can get into another level of conversation. So him just one-on-one with us, I think a lot of people was like, man, he sounded good, he sounded different, and he was able to answer the questions a little bit differently.
He's candid. Really candid.
Yeah. What I found when he answered the question about his future, that was interesting because it was the first time I heard him talk about, he's always like, I love the city, I don't want to go anywhere. It's the first time he said it's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't sign anything, but I got to see something from the Canadiens. Canadiens have to show me they're not going to be bottom of the barrel team. If I want to sign back here, they got to show me that they want to, go upwards. There's a lot of teams kind of like the situation John Tavares is in. And I'm not comparing John Tavares and Max Pacioretty's talent, but John Tavares' situation, why he doesn't want to sign with Long Island, he doesn't think they're going to be a good team. And if he thinks they're going to be a good team, he'll stay. And that was the kind of answer we got from Max Pacioretty. And he never said any of that when he was in his scrum. He said that with Knuckles and and that's the one thing that I took from it. And I do think that there's a little bit of a separation between Max and Mark Bergevin. And when push comes to shove, I definitely think they're probably going to. I'm with Tony on this one, my good friend Tony Marinaro. I definitely think they're going to be moving him by the draft. But who knows? I don't have any
perfect
I don't have
segue.
any knowledge on this. Yeah.
Perfect segue for us. Speaking about the draft, currently the Habs are sitting in 4th position if everything turns out that way, which we know probably won't. But what is it that they need to address in this upcoming draft? Is it a centerman, defense? Which way are they going, or which way do you think they're going to go?
I'm not sure where they're going to go here because, well, if they could draft anywhere from 1 to 7. They could drop 3 spots, or they could go up to anywhere in the top 3. So all 7, like a lot of these guys, they could go, if you're the 10th worst team, you can go 10, 11, or 12, or you can go 1, 2, or 3. That's it. You can't get like the 7th pick. Montreal can get their top 7.
Yeah.
And if they get first, they're going defense. There's no doubt about it.
Of course.
They're taking Rasmus Dahlin.
Yeah.
But even in the top 7, there's no real centerman that is a game breaker.
We were just looking at that.
And yeah, there isn't. And I know a lot of people are like, Brady Chuck, he's a winger, and he's not going to be. And he sounds his sexy name. He's got the namesake and all that. So I'm not saying not to take him. I think they just got to take the best player.
Yeah.
Take the best player at that point, and worry less about your need. Because yes, their need is to draft a centerman. If there was a if they had 2, 3 centermen in the top 7, I would say make sure you take one of those guys. But this draft, there isn't. So if they don't get the number 1 pick, or they drop down to number 6, I think they're still going to get a really good player. Or the idea is maybe that's the piece to go get your centerman, is you flash that top 10 draft pick in front of somebody. There's a player that some team likes, and you grab a centerman off their roster. That's another option. But I don't think they go centerman. Their need is center. And I think it's 100% defenseman and number 1. Other than that, just take the best player.
And the one thing they don't need is another left winger or right winger that they want to try and turn into a centerman. That's just, I think they've gone down that path one too many times, right? So
yeah, well, okay. There's a thing on the Alex Galchenyuk, and they drafted Alex Galchenyuk as a centerman. They wanted him to be a center, and they took their time trying to make him become a center. But then, as they were taking their time, and in the process of trying to groom him into a centerman, they just realized he wasn't a centerman. But they drafted him with the idea to be a centerman, and that just never happened. It never developed into that. The Jonathan Drouin, they acquired him to be a centerman. It's been 1 year. It got better, but it's nowhere close to what they want. So they're still back to square one on that.
So to round out their team, I think they have a really tall task ahead of them. Personally, I think they need a number 1 center, a number 2 center, somebody to play with Weber, and somebody to play with Petrie.
A number 2 center. Where does Drouin fit in your mix?
Drouin's not a centerman.
Okay.
He's not, if they continue that path. But okay. I mean, so essentially, you want to round out your top 2 centermen and then your top 4 D. That's a tall task, and I don't know if they can do it. Depending on what happens this summer. But I think this is going to be one of the most interesting things. So what do you think they need to do to be a little bit more competitive next year?
Well, yeah, that's a good way to break it down. I think John Tavares solves a lot of their problems, but you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. And I would love to get those plans, but he's not going to tell anybody. And he went out and said, look, I want to be transparent, but I can't tell you what I'm going to do because I'm trying to get things from other teams. I get his, and he can't be name dropping because then you're getting into tampering. And, I get when he says stuff like that, when Mark Bergevin's in these conversations and he's kind of being antagonistic a little bit, and he had been, and I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that because people are asking questions he's not going to answer. And if I was in that situation, I wouldn't answer either. He's got a job to do, and a lot of that has to do with, keeping his cards close to his chest. But in the center ice position, one of the reasons I like the Capitals in the playoffs is because I look down and I'm like, they don't have a 1, a 2, and a 3. They actually have 2 number 1s. Kuznetsov and Backstrom are both number 1 centermen. Why did Pittsburgh win the Stanley Cup? They don't have a 1 and a 2. No, they have 2 number 1 centermen. Yeah. So ideally you want to get 2 number 1 centers, not a 1 and a 2. Then you'll have depth down the middle. But they got to start with 1. Then you get into the free agents that are out there. If you don't get the John Tavares and everybody drops the Paul Stastny, that's not a number one, and then you get into Tyler Bozak. That's not a number one. It's just, it's so difficult. So then it's about just taking, draft picks or trying to target a young guy that, is at the end of an RFA contract. I remember when Kuznetsov was coming up, and I was like, man, the Canadiens should go after Kuznetsov as much as they can. And what did the Washington Capitals do? Well, of course they wanted Kuznetsov. They got rid of Marcus Johansson. They shipped him off to the Devils because you have to look at you have, but because they had to do it for picks. They were in a situation because against the cap, and they knew that they had to pay Kuznetsov $7-8 million. And you have to go and search every team, every roster, and find that organization. Like everybody thinks Toronto still has a chance to sign John Tavares.
No.
The first thing that happens when Toronto signs John Tavares is I'm Marc Bergevin, and I am calling Toronto, and I am trying to get Nylander or Marner because they cannot afford those guys if they have Matthews and Tavares. And everyone's saying Tavares is still in play with Toronto. Let's hold up on that. If he does go there, Marner or Nylander have to go. They have to be moved. And then you just go all out for that. That's a good plan B if it happens.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
You got to target. It's the same thing. If Tavares lands in San Jose, that means you're going to have to go and target one of their young centermen that they can't afford. And I think there's dominoes that will fall that will allow Marc Bergevin to go and create a plan B wherever his plan A lands up, if it's not in Montreal. If that made any sense for anybody.
It did.
I got it.
Very,
and
very
on the
interesting.
And on the defense front, just for this, I would not count out the idea of putting Jeff Petrie with Shea Weber if the Canadiens cannot solve the Shea Weber problem.
Nor would I. That sounds like a great top pair.
Oh my God, two right-handeds. But Jeff Petrie is the actual ideal guy that you would want with him. And then you got to solve the second defenseman, but that might be easier than solving the guy to play with Shea Weber.
Yeah. And so I think that's the way they should go. I like that. His offensive capabilities this year just went up through the roof. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, defensively too, I think too.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll get you out on this. You mentioned that you favored the Capitals, which I liked because I picked the Capitals to go a distance, but we'll talk about that later amongst ourselves. We want your quick playoff predictions. Like, do you have any hot takes about the playoffs?
Yeah, my hot take that I had in round one hit me in the face last night.
Oh, so did I. That was mine. Oh, no.
So I go down, the list. I take Boston in 7. I got San Jose in 6. The easy ones, Winnipeg and Nashville in 5. Tampa Bay in 6. I had Washington in 7. I think it's gonna be a tough series against Columbus. And then I'm like, I gotta have something that's a little bold and brash. LA Kings in 4, baby.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a slap in the face. Like, it's a 1. And I'm going against one of my favorite goalies. I love Marc-Andre Fleury, and he just shuts him out. And way to go, Campbell.
Take that.
Idiot.
Dustin Brown missed that wide open net. I would have buried that 100 out of 100 times. That game should have been tied.
What a playoffs this year are hyped.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm stoked.
Unreal. Okay, Mr. Rocket Voice.
Yes.
Hashtag Rocket Voice.
We're gonna roll with that.
That's
I like
our new favorite hashtag right there.
All right, man. Thanks a lot. Make sure everybody that's listening go listen to these guys online. TSN 690. We want to thank you again, buddy, and hopefully you can come on again soon.
Yeah, anytime, man. This is a blast, and enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Thanks, bud.
And if you can get me, just say hello to Knuckles for me, because he's my favorite defenseman or my favorite player of all time. Favorite.
Your favorite defenseman?
No, my favorite Habs player of all time.
Wow, that's
okay. Because I thought I heard you say your.
I know that was a little slip of the tongue. Yeah.
Because if I tell him that, he might be insulted.
Yeah.
He might drive to Ottawa and punch me in the face.
Yeah. He was the greatest player to wear number 12.
Beauty.
That's awesome. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Right on.
That was Sean Campbell from TSN 690 on the phone with us to tell us everything about the Habs and how they're going to not be that great next year.
Hey, Yes, they are.
and they're not going to get John
And
Tavares.
how they're getting John Tavares.
You know how much?
I can't believe how you guys wearing it. I feel it already. I put the jersey on today and I was like, hey, what about that John Tavares guy?
Yeah.
I felt like the insane creeping in.
Will you become a for sure Habs fan after that? Just like
If John Tavares moved, no.
Just to rehash our bet real quick.
Yep.
I'm saying Tavares resigns in New York. You're saying he's going to Montreal, and what's on the line is $25 or $50
50.
in quarters
in quarters, straight up, not rolled in like bags.
to be paid out on the show.
That's right.
Yep.
Because we ain't going nowhere this summer, unlike last summer. We're sticking around. We might take a week or so.
Couple of cottage breaks.
That's right. But ultimately, we're around. Okay. We're on to our second part where we do our 5-minute major. And it's Harper and I doing our 5-minute major. And we have a topic for you, Darcy, to adjudicate on.
Right on.
So, to the uninitiated, the 5-minute major is a segment we like to do where two of us, this time it is Harper and I, argue a specific topic that we have discussed amongst ourselves, unbeknownst to the judge, who this week is Darcy.
Unbeknownst. Good one.
Thanks. I got a thesaurus at home.
We've
So
just
we-
been blowing Harper's minds with words
I know, man.
week after week.
I'm getting smarter and smarter as the show
Yeah,
goes
I
on.
can tell.
Hashtag learned.
Learned.
So we have 5 minutes, as it implies, to make our cases. Not 5 minutes each, 5 minutes total. So that's 2.5 minutes each to make a case. And we have to convince Darcy on our side, whatever that happens to be. So Harper, do you want to let him know what the debate topic is this week?
The debate is the Stanley Cup will be coming back to Canada.
That is not the debate topic because that's not a question. That's a statement. Will the Stanley Cup be coming back
I
to
didn't
Canada?
say the will.
Yeah,
Probably.
you just kind of threw that in there, going like, "Oh, just agree with me. That's fine."
The judge would be objection.
Or you're just trying to plant seeds. I see what you're trying to do. I see what you're
This
trying
wasn't even planned. I'm wearing a Jets jersey. No, I'll never agree that Toronto's winning it. So who's convincing me it's coming back to Canada?
that it is coming back.
Yeah.
That'd
We're
be
gonna
your
look at
man
our
over to the
we're gonna
right.
look at our playoff brackets after this. I'll go first.
Well, not after that. A while afterwards, but still.
Okay, go ahead, Harps.
So
Be the first man to go.
I truly believe that this year the Winnipeg Jets have the absolute best chance to bring it home. Could the Toronto Maple Leafs do it as well? Sure, they could. I don't think they have the clientele to do it, or the personnel, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I would say personnel. Their
Personnel,
clientele.
personnel, whatever. I believe it's coming back to Canada for the first time in 25 years because the Winnipeg Jets are going to crush this. They're going to roll through Minnesota.
Okay.
Okay, they're not going to win a game.
They barely squeaked through yet last night, but they're gonna roll through the rest of the series. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to trust me on this one.
I mean, I don't.
I picked them to win the cup
to an extent.
in this whole NHL bracket. I picked them to win the cup. They won their first playoff game ever yesterday.
And that means inevitably they're going to win 15
Yes, but I don't know if you.
I can feel the win. I can feel the win.
You told me
Oh, we
you
didn't
watched
start
the
a
game
timer.
yesterday.
Did you start a timer,
That's
Darcy?
okay. I got a
Yeah,
timer. in my
I've got
head.
the timer going.
Okay.
But you told me you watched the game yesterday. That the whole whiteout, the whole arena, everything is just everyone's so fired up.
Yeah.
And they have I feel like they have the best team other than Nashville. Is if they can get past Nashville,
Who are in their conference?
boom, they're going to win the cup.
So if they can get past the second round, they're winning the cup.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's your 2.5.
All right. So my turn. I have to convince you that a Canadian team is not going to win the Stanley
You have
Cup.
more chances.
Okay.
That's true. The odds are stacked against them immediately.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to go down that route because obviously that's there. Although, to be fair, what is a Canadian team? Is it a team from Canada or is it a team with a bunch of Canadians in it? Because you could have gone that way and said Vegas might win because Vegas has the most Canadian players on their roster.
No, it's a Canadian team.
He knew not to. I don't do technicalities.
Okay. All right.
No,
All right.
it's a
Just making
Canadian
sure.
team. Just
So-
like when Anaheim won and they had 18 Canadians.
That's right. So there's only 2 Canadian teams then, which are the Winnipeg Jets, as you have on your chest right there.
Correct.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
And neither of them are winning the Stanley Cup this year.
Okay.
Both of them have issues. Both of them has problems.
What's Winnipeg's issues?
They don't have defensive depth. They got 2 good defenders, and that's it. Dustin Buffalo and Jacob Trouba. After that, who do they have on the defense?
Give me my device.
Tyler Myers? Great. I love a bad Zdeno Chara.
What's wrong with Tyler Myers?
He's a bad Zdeno Chara.
6'7", and he's unbelievable.
Again, he's a bad Zdeno Chara. They also have to go through the President's Trophy Nashville Predators, who were also in the Stanley Cup Finals just last year. And what did they do this year? They added depth down the middle, which we just talked about with Sean Campbell, how you need depth down the middle.
Mike Fisher.
No, I'm talking about, God, I can't even.
Turris.
Kyle Turris, thank you. I was going to call him Tyler Ennis. I don't know why.
Close enough.
Close enough. Kyle Turris. So they have now Ryan Johansson. They have Kyle Turris. They have the defensive core that could beat anyone in the league in Yossi, Subban, Ellis, Ekholm. Just that. And we're not even talking about the other two that they have. So and they have Pekka Rinne, who I have down as my Vezina winner here because he's 6th in save percentage, 3rd in wins, 1st in shutouts, and 5th in goals against average in the league.
And I have Connor Hellebuck.
I don't
my
have
Vezina
him
winner.
as mine, but I'm probably wrong
Sure. Well,
because I think
yeah.
there's a real good chance.
Well,
but
now
he's
you're
not my
stealing
guy.
my time. But that's my point, is that they have everything from top to bottom, and unlike the Winnipeg Jets, unlike the Toronto Maple Leafs. If there's anyone that can win out of the West, it is the Nashville Predators, and they will beat the Winnipeg Jets, thus negating the Jets winning the Cup. And the Toronto Maple Leafs can't get past Boston. They're already down 5-1.
Game over, 5-1.
My time is gone.
Up.
You're welcome. I'll take the points already.
This is something we're going to talk about later on in the show.
Correct.
Speculation.
Oh, yeah,
For
sure.
me, this year,
Yeah.
2018, the Stanley Cup is not coming back to Canada.
Papa needs a win.
Yeah, you're
bad.
getting your pants kicked off you.
Man.
Right in your own house. See,
But
like,
I
it came
do-
up
I do
as
wanna-
soon as he lost. My phone telling him, Bruins take game 1.
I do want to talk about the Jets and this whole, these entire playoffs is all I want to talk about. So, we'll get to that later.
A lot has happened since last week, fellas.
Yes.
To be fair, I watched the game last night too, and I was taken aback.
I was at a pub for the first time in a long time, and when Scheifele scored that goal, popcorn went everywhere.
But Harps, the thing that is funny that you said talking about that Anaheim Ducks team that had all those Canadians that won the Stanley Cup, that is literally the closest comparable I've seen to this Ducks team from 2007 are the current Winnipeg Jets. And
Really?
I think they're going through Nashville.
Oh,
So I'll let you know where I think they're going
Yeah,
to hit
that's
their
a good
roadblock,
tease.
but I think they're
Good tease.
going through Nashville in 7.
perfect.
That would be great.
So our next little topic here that we want to get to,
Good little
Is-
teaser. I like that.
yeah, that's a good tease. Keep people coming. Keep them coming. Is individual trophies.
Yes.
So because that's obviously the debate that has been going on forever on the Hart Trophy, but we
Yeah.
want to go and have a debate about how many 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different trophies. We won't go into like why they should, why they shouldn't, but I've asked all of us to put down who our winners are for the Hart, Vezina, Bing, Lindsay, Calder, Norris, Adams.
Yep.
Let's start with the most important one,
Well, let's start there because I believe it was 5 weeks
Selke
ago.
Trophy.
Selke's important.
I just
gonna
that's for Kevo. That's for Kevo because he
gonna
hates
go.
when I bring up the Selke.
Yeah, we're gonna go hard. We spoke about this about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
We did.
And I have the notes from what I wrote down that week.
Oh,
And we had
that's not good for
percentages-
me.
We had percentages of who we thought we were going to win at the time. Now I only have mine. And I had Kucherov at 80% then, and I had Hall at 30%, saying if they make the playoffs, I'd be taking Taylor Hall. That's 30%. But I also had Malkin. I had Malkin there. At the point, he'd had 49 points in his last 26 games, and I had Malkin. You know what? I think Malkin really should be considered.
He will be.
Strongly considered.
He'll be a final.
But it's just that shadow. He's playing in that shadow, and it's okay. He's
Crosby.
won 3 cups, but
It's true.
and he's been a
Not 100
constant winner.
greatest players of all time, though.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
He's,
'cause he's
like,
Russian.
closing in on 1,000 points.
Dirty backhand yesterday.
Oh my God, what a player!
So I mean, I had Kucherov at 80%. I had Malkin at 50%, and I had Taylor Hall at 30%. Those are my odds. Sort of
Okay.
of winning. Right now, I think they're gonna give it to Taylor Hall. It's a feel good story, and I think it's gonna go now that they've made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it's going Taylor Hall.
Okay. Harps.
I think I said Stamkos last time.
I think so.
Stamkos was the guy, but then he got injured, and miraculously he's playing
for
tonight.
game 1.
Right, for game 1. So I think is he the most valuable player to his team? No, because that team is very well wounded. Woo! Very well wounded.
Very well.
So I also think it's going to go to Taylor Hall remove Taylor Hall from that team, there's 41 points difference between him and the next player.
That
on
is
team.
absurd.
Wow, that's
Absurd.
literally the argument I made last week.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks ago when I was debating if they should win or if you can win without going to the playoffs.
But guess where they are right now?
In the playoffs.
Guess what a Hart Trophy winner does? He
Gets
them
in the
to
playoffs. And guess what the best player in the world
I
does?
rest my case again.
Not get in the playoffs?
No, the best player on the planet right now scores a hat trick
In the playoffs.
in the playoffs.
Claude Giroux? No, you didn't score a goal, Claude. Good job, buddy. I had a split between Hall and Mack, and by Mack I mean McKinnon, because they have similar stories. They're doing the same thing, so I really feel the vote is split 50-50, which leaves the door open for someone else because the vote is split.
Yeah.
I think you can convincingly make an argument for a Malkin when the vote is split between a Hall and McKinnon.
Malka doesn't have one yet, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I feel like he doesn't, but you have a device. Check it up.
I will.
Check up on Hockey Reference, but I'm pretty sure Malkin does not have a heart. So my vote is still between Hall and
He
McKinnon.
needs a heart points. He won't live without one.
Oh, he got one in 12. He got one in 2012.
Like that was good. That was a good covert dad joke. I liked it.
jeez. Key jingle.
Yeah. Okay. Next up on the list, the Vezina Trophy.
All right.
Is it you guys just gonna go like the most wins? You're just gonna ship it in like Connor Hallebuck?
No, I didn't ship it in.
Good. Okay. Give me your non-shipped in.
Mike Condon.
No. What?
Vasilevsky.
Okay.
I'm going Andre Vasilevsky, and I had him in the middle of the season too. And I think that's one of those trophies that they kind of win it in like January, February, barring some major accident. That's locked up that early. It's one of those trophies, kind of like kind of like the Norris.
I like Pecorine
Yeah,
just because he's a. We don't get to see him a lot up here though. Like
true.
they don't stream a lot of these games up here. But he's another one of those. He didn't start off really hot, but when he gets hot, he stays hot, and
Yeah.
he carries that team.
Dude, if you want to watch the Nashville games, NHL stream Reddits or NHL Reddit or sorry, NHL Reddit's NHL streams. God, I can't talk
You
tonight.
did it.
that was tough.
It is a subreddit and it just lists streams for every game.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Streams for every game are made available.
I also have zero time on my hands.
Well, there's that.
This is the most
That doesn't help.
time I have throughout the week.
Yay. I also took Pecorine because he's 6th in save percentage, 3rd in wins, 1st in shutouts, 5th in goals against average. He doesn't lead any of those categories, but a lot of guys who lead those categories don't deserve him. So save percentage leader, I think, is
I think he's come into the race a little bit late, like Harps was saying.
that's fair.
And that's one of those things where Nashville was going to be in the position they're in pretty much regardless.
Yeah. Where were you 3 months ago type thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I can concede it to Vasilevsky then with that argument specifically. Okay. Lady Bing, the most gentlemanly like player. Who do you guys got?
Gentlemanly play.
Or sportsman like?
So I thought about this. I looked at the history of the Lady Bing, and it seems at the twilight, a lot of good players' careers, they've sort of just given them one.
Oh, it's like a long service award type thing?
Kind of like Gretzky got one, Sakic got one at the end of his career, like guys that had never won it before. How about this? Half a Lady Bing each to the Sedins.
Oh.
Because those guys are like they were exemplary through
I
they
love
were
it.
exemplary through their careers. They didn't have the most the greatest statistical season this year, but and how many penalty minutes do those guys take combined?
I love it.
Maybe their jersey numbers.
They must be so fed up of sharing things.
But that's my
That's what happens when you're a twin. Get used to it, Daniel and Henrik. You babies.
I'd also seen that, Gaudreau, the amount of points he put up, 23 penalty minutes. I could see them giving it to him again, but it'd be pretty cool if they gave it to the Sedins.
I love it. I already love it more than what I picked.
What did you pick? What did you pick?
I picked Ryan O'Reilly because the guy's got like 2 penalty minutes all year,
Yeah.
which is insane. I don't know if it's literally 2.
But
I'm pretty
Ryan
sure it's literally
O'Reilly
2.
just said in his
Yeah.
exit interview that
that's
he
true.
lost the love for the game multiple times this season.
And he's just accepted losing.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
he's
not a
just-
that's not a
He's a
sportsman.
defeated husk of a man.
Yeah, he's won it
Give him a
previous.
trophy. We can't have this type of representative for a game who's going to drive through Tim Hortons drunk.
He's like Kyrgios, Nick Kyrgios in the
Kyprios?
No, Nick Kyrgios, the tennis player. When he loses, he throws a huge fit. This guy from Australia. He's
Yeah, I don't watch tennis.
anyways.
Cares about
Anze
tennis.
Kopitar won it one year,
They did.
which is I don't get it. but
Why people love Anze Kopitar.
Looks like he's gonna fall asleep any minute now.
He's got the most adorable golden doodle, and
Of course, he's got a
Awesome wife.
somebody's been
kids.
creeping Instagram.
no, it's like they had the dog race this year. You didn't see it?
No.
dog race.
Yeah, they had the dog race on the ice with all the players' dogs, and Anze Kopitar's dog got the biggest ovation. He's loved in LA. The guy's
Really?
revered in LA. Yeah,
I'd give it to Austin Matthews.
yeah.
I would.
Why? Why did you say yeah?
I mean, he was sort of someone they were talking about to win this trophy midway
Really?
through the season. Yeah.
Look at the guy. He doesn't take a lot of penalties. He puts the team on his. He doesn't put the team on his back, but when he's there, they're a much better team.
He's Sidney Crosby-esque too, the way that he deals with the media. There's no real, you know, he's like a joker and stuff behind the scenes, but he's pretty serious.
Even
and-
keel?
And he's only
Yeah.
21 years old, right?
He's
Like
19.
he's not like immature.
He's only 19.
Yeah, he hasn't even turned 20.
God. Like it was like Nathan McKinnon. I found out he was 22.
I know.
I thought he was 28.
Patrick Laine's 19.
Patrick Laine's 19.
That's
His
true.
beard is just growing downwards.
His face looks like he's an 80-year-old Norse god.
He's in, looks like,
Like
an
he's
Amish
gonna
fella.
like anyways, summon a bolt of lightning down. Okay,
Sorry.
the
he's
Ted
20.
Lindsay.
He's 20.
Way to go.
But he just turned 20.
Done. He's dead to me. The Ted Lindsay, most valuable player.
on the team.
No.
No.
This is the most
Voted by the
outstanding
players.
player.
Voted by the
Voted
players.
by
That's
the
right.
players.
That's going to be Connor McDavid.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that's a unanimous across the board.
Unanimous.
That's-
Moving on.
That's not even a
Calder's
debate.
unanimous too.
The Calder, Brock Besser. I mean Matthew Barzal.
Yeah, Barzal.
Kyle Connors.
That's a good
was,
vote, though.
That's good.
Well, he'll be top 5 for sure, or top 3.
I would imagine
No,
Connors
top
is a finalist.
I think
Who's your
Besser
top
finished
three?
second.
Yeah.
Third. Yeah, I'd probably put Connor 3.
Kyle Connor or Keller. What's his?
Jacob Keller.
It's not
Clay-
Jacob
Clayton-
Keller.
Clayton-
Clayton Keller.
Clayton Keller.
In Arizona.
Clayton Keller.
Yeah.
I think that's the top 4, obviously.
Jacob
What about a
Keller's-
defenseman?
Jacob Keller's the guy I went to school with. So it's not him.
Shout out to Jacob Keller's family.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with Barzal. Norris. The Norris Trophy. The top defenseman in the league.
It's time to give it to Hedman.
Oh, I like it.
63 points plus 34. The guy is a beast.
I'm going to say
What are you looking at?
PK
I
Subban.
hear like something vibrating.
PK Subban.
PK Subban?
PK
Why PK Subban?
Subban. Because
Whoa,
PK Subban.
what's a family-rated TV show?
say
You OB like
Didn't
I
say it.
heard.
I beeped myself. I beeped it.
That still counts.
It doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah.
PK Subban. So they gave him more defensive roles this year, and 47% of his time on ice was started in the defensive zone.
So more time on the offensive zone.
No, like they started him more in defense. So he was
Okay.
more defensive this year than any other year.
Okay.
And he was by far their best defenseman this year.
Okay.
And he rounds out that team perfectly. And I think that's where it's going.
Okay. Fair enough.
Ship it.
I think that's like a little former bias there. But
Yeah, so do I. That's fine.
59 points plus 18. Not burning the house down like Hedman did.
I got Jordan Carlson. Just because look, to me the Norris is the highest scoring defenseman trophy. That's what it is to me.
Wow, that's what it has been.
It's usually what it is.
Eric Carlson has something to say about that.
And he'll say he agrees.
Really?
Yes, Michelle, I agree with you that it is usually
He has
the
no
highest
accent.
scoring defenseman. Agreed. Do you like my pointy mustache? Thank you.
That is
That's
god awful.
End scene.
And
And fade to black.
That was so bad.
I'd like to thank the Academy, my parents,
Yeah.
the man up above,
Yeah.
whoever you are. What is this?
trophy.
Oh, thank you.
Right on.
I love everyone. Okay, moving on.
Oh.
Jack Adams.
Everybody
That's a
This'll
lock,
be,
right?
This will be unanimous.
That's a unanimous.
Let's all say it at once. 1, 2, 3.
Gerald
Glenn.
Gallant.
Doug Waite. Oh, wait, it's for the best coach?
Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Oh, the best coach.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do we give it to Gallant?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do we
I
give
mean,
it to like a guy who's what about Laviolette? He's only coached a team into the President's Trophy. Or are we just giving the Jack Adams to the guy who did the best job with the worst possible team we thought he had?
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Why are we doing that? Why
Because
can't it be the guy who got the best result?
You know he went into that room and rallied those guys.
Do
Yeah.
we?
I don't know. Coaching doesn't matter anyways.
Exactly. So there you go. So just give it to the guy who got the best results.
I was going to go into
Just
a
for our
rant.
first-time listeners, that is not what we all think,
Is what one of us thinks.
and it's not me.
I was going to go into the rant, but then it would sound like coaching matters.
You need Kevo back so hard.
Listen, what he did to the eyes of people, you know, like what did
In
we
Florida.
expect? What did we expect? Yeah, in Florida, somebody pointed this out to me. One of our listeners pointed this out to me today. Last year, he almost missed the team bus. Like the bus wouldn't wait for him in Florida. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Left
they
on the
wanted-
side of the street.
They left him.
Was it in Carolina?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they left him on the road.
Had to take a taxi. Imagine that though. It
was like the
Florida
best.
lost their coach. They lost Marchessault and Riley Smith, all to the Vegas Golden Knights, and now they are one game up in their series in the playoffs.
Did
and
you
the
guys
Panthers are
see
not.
their opening ceremonies?
I didn't watch. I did
Yeah.
not stay up
It
that
was
late.
super cheesy.
well, it was Vegas.
But Vegas, baby, they know how to put on a show.
Yeah.
Like, dude comes out with a sword.
Yeah,
Oh man.
So that's our last ones.
I feel like the what they were trying to portray there was obviously the guy was a legit knight, but I feel like he stabbed a king.
he did.
Yeah. Oh, it was an actual king.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. The guy was a
Well,
king.
I don't
He
think it was an
waving
actual king, but like a.
Well, yeah, it was probably king of one of the small countries that we don't really care.
king of
about.
White Castle across the street, waving his flag.
Who is it? From Seinfeld, the Pager King or something?
Producer Brian, is White Castle what they say it is? Is it really good?
He's American, by the way, for everyone listening.
Yeah.
He's our American. He has to respond to everything we have. Any questions
Is
we
it
have about
as
America?
good at 2 a.m. as other fast food restaurants that people frequent here? Yes. It's one of those.
We got a decisive nod.
We got a nod.
Okay, so that's all the trophy talk we have. We won't go into the selkie.
Anze Kopitar's winning that puppy this year.
Oh, see, there you go, Kev. We'll deal with that.
Bergeron's winning it, Kevo.
Yeah, it's a Bergeron award until he dies.
Yeah.
Even if he's not playing in the NHL, his Corsi numbers are huge. Stanley Stumpers,
Oh, hey, I won last week.
you did, and I won the week
I've
before,
been on a slide.
and Darcy did not.
Yep.
For 2 weeks. So Stanley Stumpers is a game that we like to play because Darcy thinks he's super good. He says he knows all Stanley Cup winners from 1970 onwards. And not only does he know them, he knows everything about them. He has encyclopedic knowledge on the Stanley Cup winners. Although Harper and I, who don't know anything about anything, beat them twice in a row.
I can't even get the year right.
Ooh, good job by you. There's no collusion. There's none. I wrote these on my way here. Well, maybe not because I was driving. Just before arriving.
He's reading them right now. This guy can't keep his eyes to himself.
Well, I hope
I
you
saw
don't
his
have-
eyes like readjust because of the size 4 font. He's like,
That's how
eyes as wide as he can get them.
that's how I got through school, boys.
I believe
Like
it.
this.
For those listening to the podcast,
Yeah.
this is the most shifty-eyed thing I've ever seen in my life. I think The Simpsons' shifty-eyed dog, just more shifty. So Stanley Stumpers is where Harper sometimes will read out 6 clues. And the idea of the game is through those 6 clues, one of us has to beat Darcy to the Stanley Cup team that won it and the year that they won it in. And as we go through the clues, it gets easier and easier.
You totally mixed your beers, by the way.
I did not make
That was mine. This was yours.
Well, why did you put it right next to mine?
Anyways,
That one was the one I was drinking because it was delicious.
I know I wanted the blood orange one, but I gave you the wrong one.
Well, that's not my fault. Do you want this one? It's mixed.
No thanks.
Okay, fine. Plus, it's got my like super gross like
cooties.
French Canadian cuties all over it. Are you boys ready?
Let's
You
do it.
ready with your fancy? You can just pour your fancy water out on the table. We know you're not drinking beer.
Let's do it.
We know you got to keep your girlish figure going. How is that going, by the way?
It's going pretty well.
You're
Yeah?
looking good, pal.
Yeah, it's been.
You're looking trim.
It's
You
been a
feel
month.
energized. I feel your energy.
I feel it. It's been a month, and I started at 217, which is too hefty, and I'm down to my 1 pound shy of my 205 goal for the month.
That's
So I got to 206 in the 30 days, not 207 or 205.
Did
so-
you beat your buddy?
Oh, I am pounding him like he's hamburger beering it. Like he didn't.
He's done. He quit the second he heard.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the Stanley Stumpers. The first clue. We, the Stanley Cup winner, went through 4 goalies in our regular season. 2 of these goalies only played a single game. So we went through 4 goalies, and 2 of them only played 1 regular season game each.
I mean, that's almost every team every year.
Well, potentially.
Pretty much,
Maybe.
yeah.
Who knows?
I won't throw it out, but I have, no.
2011 Boston Bruins.
Incorrect.
Dang, that was a good guess.
Okay. Our finals winning goalie put up a 1.7 goals against average and a 937 save percentage through 11 games in the playoffs. Through 11 games. He played 11 games in the playoffs. He was there in the finals when they won it, and he had a 1.7 goals against and a 937 save percentage.
2016 Pittsburgh Penguins.
Incorrect. Harps, you got to guess? Because, again, you get one every round. Remember that.
1994 New York Rangers.
Incorrect. Clue number 3. We shut out our opponents twice in the finals. Twice they shut out their opponents in the finals.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, we need to get that board working because
We need to get some tunes up.
dead air.
2017 Pittsburgh Penguins.
That is correct.
yes.
No.
No. He's back on the board, ladies and gentlemen. He's up to 19. Is it 19 wins now?
Can I swear in
Yeah.
French? Tabac.
No, you can't. And I'm feeling like I think it's it's everything I'm doing right now without the
It's the clarity.
eating healthy.
God, I got to get on this
Just
diet.
diet.
He's like,
I'm back.
what is that
I'm
movie?
back.
Where he's like, he takes that one drug and it's like a super drug?
Limitless.
Limitless with
I feel it.
Bradley.
I'm feeling smart. My skin is so smooth.
Although I'm still exhausted at 10 p.m. every night. That has not changed.
That's because we have children.
yes, that has not changed.
That'll do. So my next clues were, it was our owners. Oh God, I massacred this sentence. Our owner won his 5th overall ring this
Yeah.
year. 3rd as an owner and 2 as a player.
2006 Carolina Hurricanes.
I already know
Oh,
what
we're
the
done?
answer is. So that's Mario Lemieux.
Yeah.
He won 2 as a player,
Yeah.
3 as an owner.
91, 92.
Yep. It was the 2nd time in a row our captain robbed the Conn Smythe from a teammate.
Correct.
Because Evgeny Malkin should have won it that year because he had the most points. That's usually how it goes.
A lot of the times, yeah.
Yeah, except Sidney Crosby had like one playoff to face off. No, that was the year before when Phil Kessel was running this playoffs.
Malkin's
and
gonna
he
need
still
to put
didn't
up.
win.
He'll need to put up like 40 points in the playoffs to Crosby's 25 to even get considered for the
Yeah.
Did anybody watch
Conn
this
Smythe
dude
now.
yesterday?
No, I was super sad because we'll get into it with our. Well, I termed it playoff hot takes, but we'll get to hot takes as we go through our brackets.
Right on, let's do it.
Where this is our brackets.
Are we doing brackets right now?
That is correct.
All right.
This is the part of the segment where we go through our NHL Stanley Cup brackets, brought to you by Ray is All Natural Walden. I don't know. That's what I'm calling him. Just because he's the one who set up the group.
Isn't he a GM?
You're the GM.
Yeah, whatever. I'm the GM.
Yeah, it's Ray All Natural Walden. That's what I'm calling him. It's done. Sorry, Ray, if you don't like it, too bad. Ray is our super fan. He's a super helpful dude where he set up this our own NHL bracket challenge on NHL.com, and we all have our own brackets.
I didn't know about that.
You're in the Darcy, come on, man.
I've got my bracket filled out, but I'm not in your group.
Like,
Yes,
honestly,
you're on your own.
Yeah.
you need to get in on these messages. I don't know. Wow, God, Jesus.
You need to
Like, Ray, I don't blame you anymore. I really don't.
get in
buddy.
the
buddy.
Twitter. Get in the it's in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Twitter inbox.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, fix yourself.
fix
Force you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Like now.
better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Exactly. Just like that. Except anyways. A
Sorry.
lot of that. All right. So brackets. How do we want to go through our brackets?
Let's go west and then east.
Do we just pick winners of the first round and then go that way? Because obviously, if you have a winner, you have a loser.
Yeah, that's how. Yep.
That's usually how it works.
And
right?
we're gonna post our individual brackets.
Yes.
Yes.
Mine's called Harper's Hot Takes. What's yours called?
Mitch.
Off.
I didn't get creative. Sorry. I didn't know we were supposed to get creative.
Well, you were supposed to.
Oh.
Mine is called Darcy Point One because I think they expected me to enter more, but
Well, you.
that's the one they gave me.
But I'm gonna post them on the Twitter and on the Instagram.
And I'll put them up on the website.
There you go. Check them
3
out.
places.
All right, let's do it. West. Let's start it off.
Okay.
Top
We
to
all
bottom
have
here.
Nashville winning that series, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
How many games?
6 games.
I said 5.
I got 5.
Nice.
Okay.
Take that, Herbs.
Winnipeg, Minnesota.
I had Winnipeg winning.
How many games?
5.
I have Winnipeg in 5.
Ditto.
Nice. Okay. Next.
Vegas, LA Kings.
Yes. So did I. I had the Kings winning in 6.
I have Kings in 6.
Kings in 7.
Oh, we all don't think that they're gonna make it.
This is
Wow.
Ray's
Yeah.
screaming.
Ray is
What
like,
are you guys talking about?
Ray's that guy. You know that video of the guy smashing his keyboard? That's what he's doing
just
right now.
raging.
Okay, Ducks, Sharks.
I've got Anaheim in 7.
Okay.
I got the Sharks in 6.
I also had the Sharks in 6.
Right on.
Although I don't know who's on that team other than Joe Thornton and Pavelski and then Evander Kane.
Martin Jones, Brent Burns, Marc-Andre Vlasic.
Yeah, Vlasic is washed up. He's a Point Claire native.
There you go. For some reason.
Our good she knew.
Very good, Shifu. There
All
you
right.
go.
So
Okay, next.
we almost have the whole thing. So you want to keep going? We'll go west. So we got Nashville.
Let's finish the West.
Nashville, Winnipeg.
I have Nashville taking it. Obviously, we know where Harper's going.
We got Winnipeg going through.
I have Winnipeg in 7.
Yes. Yes.
No,
LA. I have LA, Anaheim. I'm taking Anaheim to go to the conference finals against Winnipeg.
I had the Sharks going to the conference finals.
Against Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I got LA going against Winnipeg.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I've got Winnipeg beating Anaheim in the conference final.
Well, whatever. I don't have Anaheim there anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
And I got Winnipeg beating LA.
I have Winnipeg. I have Nashville going through
Okay.
to the finals
In the
for the
East,
second year in a
so
row.
We got everybody's taking Tampa over New Jersey.
Yeah, well, of course, no one's an idiot.
I've got 5 games there.
I got
think
6.
I had 5 as well.
That was my Harper's World hot take, what I want to see happen.
Yeah.
But what is actually going to happen is Tampa's going to win that one.
I've
That's
got
fair.
Boston going through Toronto in 7.
Oh, I'd like to see them go out in 4.
I had Boston in 5.
Boston
Yeah.
5.
Boston 7 again.
7.
I may have had 6. Don't trust me on that.
A
So I
good
don't
old
open.
game 7, just
Shellacking.
right in the heart. Take
have,
that again, Toronto.
I have Washington going through Columbus in 7.
I
Yeah.
also have Washington going through. I think it was also in 7.
Ditto.
7 or 6. I don't have it open, obviously, but
Mame shows.
there you go.
And then I have Pittsburgh in 1 because it looked like it was over last night. I got Pittsburgh.
7-0.
They just conceded.
I
They're
got
we're done.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
We're
I saw
done.
this one thing on Twitter where it was like, user has left the game. You know, like when you're playing online, it was like 7-0 on the scoreboard.
That's awesome.
But no, I actually, before that game, I took Pittsburgh in 6.
Yeah, Pittsburgh
Okay.
at 6 for me as well.
I took Philly in 6. Oh, sorry, Philly in 7. And that's still good. I still have time, but I thought Peter Mrazek would be good. And boy, was I wrong.
Well, Mrazek was only the backup.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he still wasn't any good.
Elliott led in the first 5.
first 5.
Weak, too. That one goal by
4 of them
Can-
he
can
could have
we-
stopped.
Can we talk about that Crosby goal?
Which one?
Is this just getting like, Mitch? Come on, are you willing to concede how incredible this guy's hand-eye is?
Oh, yeah, I'm just tired of seeing him batting pucks out of the air. It's the 3rd time in the last 2 weeks I hear
Why are you
Crosby
tired of it?
batting the puck out of midair? Because I hate Crosby. Why do you hate Crosby? He's a great player, but there's one team that Sidney Crosby scores the most against. Can you guess what that team is?
I probably can based on your tone.
Yeah.
But I already know the actual answer to it too.
It's the gosh darn New York Islanders, Harper.
Yes,
He drives me up a wall because he's so damn
If he's
good.
scored,
He's
listen to
good.
this.
He's
If-
fantastic.
If he has as many points against the rest of the league's teams as he does the Islanders, he'd be ahead of Wayne Gretzky right now for points.
yeah, it's insane how well
He's
he
got
scores.
over
against-
100 points against the Islanders.
It's not even close.
love it.
I hate it. He's a great player. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's arguably the best player playing right now. I still hate him because he
He
scores against
is the
team
best
all
player playing around. And we
Sure.
debated this
That's
last
why
week.
I said arguably.
Yeah.
That's why I said arguably.
And he's just one of those guys that is able to take the team, put him on his back, and lift his game to another level like he did yesterday.
I know, but I hate him. So
All right, since we don't have the same for the Pittsburgh-Washington series, I think Harper and I do. I have Pittsburgh going through Washington in 7. And then I've got the Tampa Bay Lightning beating Boston in 6. And then I got Tampa beating Pittsburgh to go to the Cup final against Winnipeg, which will be such an unbelievably high-powered, fast, strong. That would be a wicked Stanley Cup final.
A lot of blue.
I have
a lot of
I have the Tampa Bay Lightning winning in 7 games with 33 goals scored in the series.
Wait till you
It's
hear how
gonna
many
be a
how many goals
burner.
Harper thinks is going to be.
That was a mistake.
91.
So I have Tampa Bay also beating Boston, and this is my only hot take. I'm staying my hot take right now.
Okay,
Do it.
what is your hot take?
Washington is finally going to beat Pittsburgh in the second round. Finally, they're going to get the little monkey off his back, chuck him, and they're going to go against Tampa Bay and then lose against Tampa Bay.
So you got Tampa, Winnipeg as well.
Yeah,
No way.
Tampa, Winterpeg, and I did put 5 goals total. So
To be fair, he didn't realize it was over the series.
I thought it was one game.
I don't know why he would do that, but
Yeah, me either.
get you. That's fair.
But I have
For
19
one
goals
game. That's fair.
19 goals. Usually it's a little bit of a tighter
What are you
series.
saying? Winnipeg's cleaning up in 4 or 5 or what? This is a quick series for you. if
Quick
you go
series,
19
bud.
goals.
5 games.
So I had the Washington Capitals beating the Philadelphia Flyers because why not? Moving on to the conference finals against the Boston Bruins. I then had the Washington Capitals beating said Boston Bruins and moving on to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time ever.
And they're playing Nashville. So we got Washington and Nashville on your side.
Yes.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
And are you saying that the
Yes.
Great 8
Yeah.
is going to raise a cup?
He's
this
finally going to raise a cup.
year? Wow.
After 24 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals, the Washington Capitals are going to win the Stanley Cup in 2018.
That's a hot take.
That is a hot take.
It's hot.
He's doing it.
Hot off the press.
I do it almost every year. Sorry, not true. 2 years ago, I took the Ducks. This year and last year, I took the Capitals. I believe in them. They're
So
back,
we
baby.
we want to hear your takes as well. And where can they find ours again? Where are we going to post this?
Our takes?
Yes. Like where are we going to post our brackets?
Yeah, we're going to post them on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm going to post them on Twitter.
Okay.
So retweet. Check out Twitter.
well, it's at
What's
Ride and
our-
Pine Show, in case you don't know.
At Ride and Pine Show for everything. Go check out our website, rideandpineshow.com. Drop the
with
G.
no
It's
G.
not Riding Pine Show, not riding horses. We are rideandpine.com.
Correct.
Right on.
We own it.
stuff.
And obviously on Twitter. It's all over Twitter. Or
I'm all over that. I'm all over that.
YouTube. It's all over YouTube. The tube of you. You.
Your tube.
Okay. Do we have any hot takes?
That was my hot
I
take.
think that's good. I think that's all. That's all I have for the show.
My hot
actually.
take, remember, and this is why I stuck with Tampa, is that JT Miller is scoring the Game 7 winning goal. Not overtime. Game 7 winning goal, JT Miller, Tampa Bay Lightning. That's from weeks ago I said that.
With JT Miller.
Yeah.
Take that, New York Rangers.
That's my hot take. That's a hot take.
That was a toss in. That was a toss in.
That's a hot take.
I got Patrick Laine scoring in overtime, game 5, to win it all,
Just a snipe.
like he did yesterday.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
What a goal. What a goal.
Unreal.
Unbelievable.
So, Mitch, we have additional content too, don't we?
We have a lot of additional content.
Nice.
So we do a draft simulation, not in this show, but afterwards, and we put that up on YouTube. So get to our YouTube channel, which is at Ride and Pine Show. Follow or subscribe, I think is what it's called on YouTube, but this is the same thing.
And like the videos.
Like, comment. Let us know what you think about what is going on in the. I thought you were pointing to your man area or something.
My man area, what my
The
cup.
crest on your chest. Where we put our draft simulation up there. So we run the draft simulator every week, see what comes up. Arizona's been coming up a lot, but I think Ottawa's going to start coming up a lot too. And it's up on YouTube. Make sure to go there.
Make sure to go there. Like it, love it.
Playoffs. I love
Playoffs, baby. Click
can't
on
wait.
this face again, on that face, and watch those videos.
Right on.
Peace.